and I'm sitting here with Donovan the Black
Yule
Brenner, Sadiq. On this Friday, I know it's a little late for us, but I had something to do. Donovan had to go get his teeth pulled or something. He was snagging food.
Got to get my teeth fixed. You know, y'all sisters be complaining, brother, be spilling out. You know, you might be fine, but his teeth all fucked up, just like strippers. They got all a nice body, but then you look at their teeth and they say, I make a lot of money. Then, bitch, get your teeth fixed.
As you can see, it's going to be one of those type of days. So anyway, thank you for everybody being here. Those on the podcast, all 65 of them, and YouTube, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to this channel. And what's up, Facebook? We are live, Dwight. And so today is Free Flow Friday, where anything goes, right? But we do have two topics we're going to talk about, and I must warn you guys, I'm sick again. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm sick. So I'm gonna try to do this without like dying here, but I'm awfully ill. But I take one for the team, right?
There you go. Nothing wrong with that. Like I said,
well, it depends on what team we're talking about.
Right. That's true too. Notice I am still representing Kobe Bryant, and you know, of course, he was Mr. Los Angeles Laker.
Yes, indeed.
And
I actually spent some Los Angeles. I stayed in Los Angeles I've been there since Wednesday night. I just got back. Haven't even been home yet. Came right here. And it was all about Kobe there, so... Cool. Yeah. My big brother's on and stuff like that, so he's doing his thing. He's been going off about, you know, the new Air Force and these people that don't know what they're doing, right. And, his same old stuff. Right. You know, he's not himself if he ain't complaining, even as a little kid. And so thank you, Marcus, for everything you do as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to give Donovan the lead. I'm going to sit here and listen, and then I will go ahead into my portion.
Well... Go ahead and start your stuff so I can get this stuff linked to the thing, and then I will...
So basically, I'm taking the lead.
We'll just start it a little bit.
All right, so what I'm going to do, I'll go ahead and start. You want to talk about the coronavirus?
Yes, go ahead and start.
Okay, so we talk about the coronavirus. Now listen.
The coronavirus is not taking 6 Coronas and getting drunk. That's not the virus. Okay? So, that for everybody that's worried about that, continue to drink your Coronas.
So the coronavirus is what my daughter thinks I may have. I don't have the coronavirus, but I don't think I do. But anyway, so there's this thing called, I guess it's sort of like a flu, called the coronavirus. And a lot of people think the coronavirus is new. It's not new. It's been around for years and years and years. However, because I've seen people post pictures of Lysol cans and stuff like that,
right,
with the word coronavirus. Oh, they trying to, is this a conspiracy? I don't even know what people are trying to say. But if you read into it, the coronavirus, this particular coronavirus is actually a more deadlier strain. And so that's where the issue is. It's a deadlier strain. And so, as you guys know, there's been a few people on quarantine. And I just saw an article before I got here. It actually originated, sounds like, from China. And I read an article before I got here that says that a nurse she's a whistleblower, saying that there's about 900 people, 900 Chinese people who have it and have not been quarantined. I guess they kind of knew about it and just kind of let it go under the rug. So potentially there's, I believe it said 900 people just running around with the virus, if you will. And so recently there was a plane that was diverted here. When I say here, I mean literally right across the street. Donovan lives in a military neighborhood, and the neighborhood
right outside the gate.
Right outside the gate. We could walk there in about 10, 15 minutes.
No, it's not even that. It's less than 10. It's less than 10.
So,
we could do it less than 10.
Needless to say, we are very close to where they have quarantine. How many people? Like 300 people?
No, 165, I believe.
165 people have been quarantined literally right across the street, so they flew the plane in. And the people, and I'm trying to understand too, they don't have to stay.
Right, yeah. You
they don't have to stay, but that's where those people are, right across the street. And so, of course, there's been this mass hysteria going around. Oh my God, we're going to get it. And when I envision this mass hysteria, I envision something like Thriller. You have zombies around. People are all scared because these people have
Walking Dead.
Yeah, right. They're Walking Dead. People have the coronavirus and they're scared, right? But honestly, there is no...
Right now, they have no cure.
There is no cure because it's more like a very serious strain. So you're supposed to get to the hospital or get help before it gets to your lungs. It causes pneumonia. And they says that I guess it also starts to affect your upper throat, your lungs, your respiratory. So it's a respiratory issue that if it goes untreated can get worse and you can die. And so...
Now, but my question is, and I said this before this show started, we got a plane in the air. If you guys seen the movie Outbreak, and so we got this plane in the air. Well, let's land at LAX. No, can't do that. Let's land at Burbank. Nope, can't do that. What about Santa Ana? Nope, can't do that.
Moreno Valley.
Where is there a bunch of Negroes and Hispanic? Oh, Moreno Valley. Let's land them there where the warehouses are. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm not saying it's a conspiracy, but how did that work out? Why couldn't you land them in Victorville, the old George Air Force Base, out there where they park planes?
I know the answer to that, and we're going to get to all of you guys' questions, but I know the answer to that. The answer, and okay, listen, I don't know for sure because I'm not on the inside. So let me finish. So we know the coronavirus is something that's causing this mass hysteria, and they're calling it an outbreak, an epidemic of very serious proportions, and they're trying to stop the spread of it, right?
Sure.
And so, as Donovan said, they allowed this plane with 160-something people.
No, there's 300-something people on the plane, but there was 165 that have been quarantined.
They've been quarantined, yes. So okay. So these people are here across the street in a neighborhood that is predominantly black and Mexican, and so Donovan...
Well, predominantly Hispanic, but...
Right. Well, Donovan wants to know why, and that is because... Well, let me ask you this. Why do you think they didn't land it in Burbank Airport?
You got rich white people that fly to Burbank Airport.
And what do they typically do?
What do you mean, like...
Where do they go? Like on a weekly basis? Or
they go down to Cancun.
No, but I'm talking about the city hall meetings. Like,
yes, absolutely.
They're really not saying that
they control their environment.
Right, not saying that we're not, but they're a little bit more invested in their neighborhoods, just a little bit more than we are. And so they also have a little bit more money than us and, vote and all that.
And, okay, I want you guys to think about this. By the way, we're going to have Dr. G. She's a candidate running for the 41st District against incumbent Mark Tucano. She's going to be on the show a little bit later. However, I want you guys to think about this. And it kind of goes with what you just said. A plane has been diverted, right? The city is notified of that. The military is notified of that. Our mayor didn't even show up. 4 of the council members did not show up. 4 of the council members are owned by Highland Fairview and Edo Benvizi. Those people did not show up. The lone councilman, Dave Marquez, ex-Air Force veteran, he was there to get the lowdown on the hoedown. You know what I'm saying? But that goes to show you what you said. It's like they don't give a damn. Our leadership doesn't give a damn, but we keep electing these people who don't care about. Because if I was the mayor, that plane ain't landing here. Send it to San Bernardino, Old Norton Air Force Base.
Let me ask you this, because I read that it was a federal decision. So how much say-so did these people on the local level have?
Well, you don't have much, but at least you make the statement. Have you heard a statement from any officials from the Inland Empire? I haven't heard one. Because why would you land something like that in the heartbeat? Because we're a commuting area.
Right there by the freeway and all that.
We're the commuting area. So now you are putting the plane in a position that people could get out and it goes everywhere. Right. Right. Yeah. They don't think about that stuff. You know what I mean?
That's what I see.
Right.
That's what I see. We say they're going to get out. These people are going to give us the coronavirus.
Right. And like you said, they can't forcibly hold those people. So if that person says, I'm getting the fuck up out of here.
Would you stay?
No. Hell no.
I mean, I probably wouldn't stay either. That's
a detention, unwarranted detention. It goes against the Constitution. You can't.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't stay either.
Right. So now you got 165 people at the artery spread out.
Right.
More problems.
So that's where we are, you guys. We're right in the hub of
Ground Zero.
The coronavirus. And listen, I don't want to make light of the coronavirus because, my daughter's like, you probably have it. I don't think I have it. If I have it, you have it. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Watch us be laughing and we...
you. Look, my blood is so bad. I went down to Panama and we were in Jamaica and stuff and everybody was getting bit by the mosquitoes but me. The mosquitoes were biting me. The mosquitoes bit me and then they were dying.
You know why?
What's that?
They don't like chicken. So anyway, so I'm not trying to make light of the coronavirus or nothing like that. Like I told my daughters, like wash your hands, just be like the normal stuff. Wash your hands, cover your mouth.
Exactly.
I was somewhere today.
Take your dirty clothes, put it in the hamper, wash it.
Yeah, Yeah, like clean up, be clean.
You gotta be hygienically.
Soap, water,
right.
all of that other stuff. Now you coughing, like I have a tissue so I can cough and stuff like that. But I guess we should be cautious, but are we, like, I don't know if we should be stupid. You know what I mean? I've seen some very ignorant stuff, online and things like that. It's just, just take the proper precautions. I almost hate to say this, but if you're going to get it, you're going to get it.
Exactly.
I didn't plan to get sick. This is like the fourth time I've been sick in like the last 2 months. Mm-hmm. And that's really because I'm around little babies and they like being up under me and stuff. So and sometimes they're sick.
Yeah, and for those of you guys that don't know out there, I know we got to get to our questions.
No, go ahead.
But we have Ontario Airport here. It's an international airport. It belonged to us because a lot of people in the 70s and 80s lived out here, and it was a outline. And then we sold it to LA. Then we finally got it back. So we do have international flights here, and to get more. So that's why if somebody's asking, like, well, why would a plane come all this way to the Inland Empire versus LAX? Because that is a Taipei flight, direct flight that we have.
And it's international now, like I said.
So.
All right, so let's see what you got. Okay, so Sydney says, I'm blaming Donovan for the outbreak. Yes, it's probably his fault what's happening. Yes. And Sydney said, that's why I blame Donovan for the virus, his hometown quarantine. You got your first suit ready.
Yes, absolutely.
Hey, Donna, what's happening? It is live. And then said coronavirus. Yes, coronavirus is here.
Yeah, it's here.
What's happening, Patrick? He said,
wait. That's my brother, and you would think that he would check in on his. Not that this is his hometown, but this is what we call home.
Well, he thought if there was a zombie apocalypse, you would just be
take care of it. I'd handle it.
No, you would be out there with him, like I'm sure he has some zombie costumes or some shit in back there.
No, I got my Thriller jacket.
There you go.
That's all I need.
And Patrick says no witnesses. He's talking about what just transpired with the hearing. If you will.
Yes, the hearing.
The senators was 51-49.
Yeah,
went against how I'm calling witnesses in the impeachment.
And I don't want to take that out, but think about this: that Lamar Alexander guy, a total dirtbag, by the way. Guy's a total dirtbag. He said that the guy did it. He did it wrong. There was a crime here, but I'm gonna let it go. White privilege. That's a prime example of white privilege, right there. Think about it. In the 60s, you had all this evidence against this white Klansman that killed all these black people. Even all the evidence is there. Well, we gonna let him go.
What's new?
But that's what I'm saying, though. Nothing has changed. Here we are. He
but
sees the evidence.
But if Obama ordered an extra taco.
Thank you. or wanted to do a barbecue on the lawn.
Or how about lying about getting your dick sucked?
Right. White privilege at its finest. They know there's a crime. They know there's something wrong, but it's one of their own. That's why I tell people. I was arguing with this idiot about Democrats and Republicans. There is no Democrat and Republican. They're all the same.
Money publicans.
Yes. That's all it is.
And Sydney says, coronavirus sick D or flu sick? I don't know. I'm just sick. I don't know what it is. It's horrible. Horrible. I can't even talk or laugh.
How long ago did Al leave here? You think?
No.
Okay. Gotta make sure.
It's horrible. And hey, Pam, what's happening? He said, that's good you went to LA to see the Kobe thing. Well, I didn't go out there to see the Kobe thing. I just happened to see it while I was out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then what's happening, Samuel? And then Nathaniel, what's happening? Peace unto you as well. And Berdina says, why are the Chinese people eating exotic animals? I think they are nuts. Well, Donovan?
Well, it's their culture. That's why this shark fin soup thing, if you go down to Hong Kong and if you get a chance to go down and you go to the markets. It's supposed to be this real, a real exotic thing. To us, it ain't. But just to take a whole shark, cut off its fins and throw it back into a whole shark. Right. That's how you do it. But if you go to Hong Kong, these little shops, you're going to see, that's just Hong Kong. Let's talk about the rest of China. You're going to see all these fins from all these different sharks because it's very lucrative.
What is it? Meat on it?
It has it's supposed to have like an aphrodisiac, and health thing and stuff like that. But they think about the millions and billions of sharks.
I don't think she's talking about the sharks. I think she's talking about that bat and rat soup stuff.
No. Well, exotic stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. That's a traditional thing that goes back thousands of years before white people even came out of the cave. I mean, that's just how it is.
Yeah, so that's what they're saying, too, that the cause of it may be from these exotic animals. I don't know if a bat is exotic, and I've even heard wolves and things like that people are eating, and they call it a human market or something out there. Not that they're selling humans, but I guess they cut and kill the stuff right there in front of you. Mm-hmm. And so I guess it's very
fresh
and primitive, if you will. Mm-hmm. You know. And yes, the White Riverside, California, right next to Moreno Valley. And Donald says the government dropped them off in California to get rid of you all.
Get rid of us all.
To get rid of you all. Y'all causing too much trouble for the rest of the nation.
Right.
You know what? You might be on to something.
Mm-hmm. They ain't got me yet, though.
So I was way off. And the number is actually 900,000 people the whistleblower said that are just running rampant that the doctors and the hospitals knew about it. And just like,
Yeah.
It was almost 1 million people.
Hey, in China, that's nothing.
Yeah, but where are those million people now?
That's the question. Because remember, Chinese are in Africa. They're in there's a whole bunch of Chinese people up in Africa now. And the last I checked, the virus is all over Asia now. They just had a case in Australia. I'm sure there's some in Europe. They're just not reporting it yet. And of course, Africa. So we're a bioweapon. Once again.
Oh my goodness.
They're testing it, making sure that it does what it's supposed to do.
And then your brother says, I'm texting without my glasses.
Yeah, we all got glasses now.
So
we're getting
people think Area 51, it might be changing that to Area 51.
Could be.
Donovan going to try to go in there and storm it. What's going on up in here?
No, I won't. I did 6 years over there. They can have it.
Duke of Edgemont. I need to know everything that's going over here. And Pamela, you say, I was so upset that the plane landed. Plus, we don't need this coronavirus in California and in America. What can I ask you guys this? Where should the plane have landed?
Yes, where should it have landed?
Where should the plane have landed? Because, and I get it, I wouldn't want it in my neighborhood either, but it's like, where should it have landed?
Well, there are a lot of airfields that are in remote areas that they could have landed in the middle of Texas.
Right.
They could, away from a whole bunch of people. And they didn't do that. They wanted, like I said, it doesn't make sense. I mean, if I'm doing it, I'd say, well, with my aviation background, if I was the council member, I would have said, what's wrong with these old areas?
What's wrong with Washington?
Yeah. What's wrong with Washington, D.C.? No.
Mar-a-Lago.
Right.
They don't have a lot of people there.
Right. I mean, there's places in Utah that you could have landed at. We have major training areas in Nevada that plane could have landed.
Right. And Cindy says, Pamela, it is here in the States, Illinois' first confirmed cases to be passed from human to human. Yeah, so that's actually where it was first in Illinois, and then it kind of came out here and there, and so now it's going to be all over, right? And Pamela goes, oh my God. And Samuel, you say, conspiracy is not a bad term. No. The way people use the term is as if it means not true, and is not the case. Your logic makes sense to me.
Right. I mean, looking at it logically.
Right.
But we have leaders in this city that will not make a stand. They talk about La Familia, and yet they don't practice it, You
ain't my family.
Right. But, it's like they rather shit on their own and just, it's just sad. It's just sad. If the money in politics wasn't so prevalent, I think you'd have some more empathetic people.
Right, and Charlie, what's happening? It says quarantine in Europe is only 14 days, but America quarantine is for 3 days. It's like, what's the point? I mean, what's the point?
Yeah.
And then Sydney, you say, Donovan, yes, they can be forced to stay against their rules.
Yes, but I'm all for that. They can be forced, but they haven't done that yet, and they're letting them go. You can go. Yeah, that's another thing.
Yes, Sammy says Dr. Umar Johnson believes it's a part of the population control plan, either by the American government or Chinese government to control the population. I mean, but would that be unheard of? Population control?
Not at all.
I mean, we know there's this eugenics program, right?
But like I said, it's just amazing to me how the plane wasn't allowed to land at LAX, Burbank, near Santa Ana. Where the rich white people are.
They would have turned up.
Right.
What's happening, Joe? Now, this says, Peace, Queen, Donovan, and fam. What's happening to you? And Cindy says, wash your hands frequently, clean thoroughly your homes, cars, and clothes. I recommend bleaching the walls, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's old school when Mama used to bleach
and peroxide. I like to clean with peroxide. Yes. I mean, just be clean. It's people running around washing their hands, touching all over everything, and all that kind of stuff. And Berdina, yes, bats. It's bats. And then Cindy, you also say Umar needs to stop. That's the other part we're going to get into about the conspiracies. I want to have a conversation with you guys about that. And then you also say, Sydney, they did not report it in Europe, Italy. Oh, well, I wonder why. Also, Marcus, what's happening? He said everything that they are doing right now is a test for population control, and definitely major discussion on how to attack us as a people should the time come, because they know they are not going to, they're not going to stop us from coming, so they must be prepared for the day. Did we maybe, maybe rise up and fight for ourselves as a people? Absolutely. What's happening, Craig? And you say Donovan hit the nail on the head. It took me a while to get it, but there is no Republican or Democratic Party, period. They're all against us. And speaking of which, how you doing, Dr. Grace?
How you doing?
So this is Dr. Grace. She's actually running for Congresswoman for the 41st District against Mark Takano. So we're going to talk to her in just a little bit. So she's sitting here with us. So never mind the craziness going on.
You know, she's good.
Okay. And then Jonelle says Asians, whites, and others are eating babies. It's not a coincidence that they're coming out with a movie about a handicapped super Dracula eating bats. Eating bat and becoming empowered. These people done lost their minds, creating diseases, naming it after a Mexican beer. So I'm going to say this to you guys. You guys aren't listening to me really quick. So we might get into some really, I don't know if you want to be sitting here. People be.
Okay. Go ahead. Good switch. What kind of stuff are you getting into?
Okay, how y'all doing? We're back. Okay,
Switch assignment.
yes, and Dwight says race has nothing to do with the landing availability. Yeah, I mean, some people will argue that too, talking about the plane landing. I don't think it's necessarily race. I think it's more who's more involved, right?
Okay.
I mean, but then again, who knows, right? And Craig, yeah, so he said he was agreeing with you. You heard that about there not being a Democrat and a Republican Party.
Right.
They're both the same.
They're the same.
And you also say, Craig, we had a lot of the chemtrails in the skies over the last 2 days. Keep everything clean. And so there's always that conspiracy, too, about the chemtrails.
Yeah.
What are they, Donovan?
No. The chemtrails has to do with you're up in the air. It's really cold up there. The engines are running hot, and depending on what altitude you are, it forms ice crystals and humidity that makes that cloud. Because if the chemtrails were so deadly, every plane you would see would have that coming down, and there's not enough planes to really make a difference.
So it's not some stuff that's trying to kill us all?
No. I don't know if you're like watching crop dusting or something, and I'm not like trying to say a negative thing. It's not the same thing. So these planes aren't equipped to do that.
Got it. Let's see here. And then Sydney says they did report it. Okay. Mm-hmm. And Craig says, hello, Dr. Grace. So somebody knows.
Somebody knows you. All right. Absolutely.
Yes. And Marcus. Oops. You say, Dr. Grace, since you are running for public office.
That's nice.
Yes. Do you believe that a United States of America exists? Or would you agree that America is permanently divided and will continue to seek and find ways to destroy the African race?
That's a good question. What do you think?
Am I jumping into this?
Well,
it's up to you.
All right. No, I can't. Okay, read that question again.
Okay, so he says, Dr. Grace, since you are running for public office, do you believe that the United America, is what he's saying, exists? Or would you agree that America is permanently divided or will continue to seek and find ways to destroy the African race? So it's kind of the question is, I guess I'm trying to make sense of it too. So
yeah, there's division in the country exists, right? So, and a big part of that is a result of racism and a lot of personal interest by others that don't look after people of color. So yes, division does exist, but is it permanent? I would say no, because as long as we stay engaged in the conversation, and that's why I'm running for office. It's to bring a different voice, to make changes, to force changes, to push for changes that we really need. So as long as we stay engaged in conversations, I think we can really change the divide. We can bridge the divide in this country, actually.
Okay.
Absolutely. Just real quick,
Sure.
I saw your commercial the other day. That was a really very well produced commercial.
Thank you.
I mean, how long did it take you guys to shoot that?
That was maybe 30 minutes or less.
30 minutes less? Okay. That was really, really good. So if you guys check it out, what's your website? If you guys
It's drgraceforcongress.com, and the commercial that Donovan is referring to is on my social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Absolutely. Check it out.
And Sydney says there's a medical name of the virus. It's hard to pronounce it. So the media dubbed it the coronavirus. Got it. I think I did see that name, but yeah, it is very hard to pronounce, if you will. What's happening, Tina? He says, at work, cannot listen at this time. Dang.
Who's that?
Tina Walk. You can always go back
Right.
and watch it.
Right. It's on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and such.
But, we'll be back here on Sunday live. Oh, you know what? Ain't none of y'all going to be here, no way. It's the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. Y'all ain't going to be
Super Bowl.
paying attention or anything. You got any predictions?
I don't even know who's playing.
Oh, I don't either. Well, I barely know. Dr. Grace, do you have a team?
No,
Okay.
I don't know what team.
What's
Cowboy
happening,
fan, right?
Kevin?
No.
What's happening?
Raiders.
What's up, y'all? I have lived 7 decades. What a blessing. He said, I have witnessed people's fears about many things, especially diseases. When I discovered that most of the claims, including HIV, lo and behold, a pharmaceutical company has miraculously developed just a drug everyone needs. Yes, diseases exist, and once discovered, then men seek to use it in ways that serve either controlling the masses and our economic powers, and ultimately define how others live. Conspiracies are real and sometimes are successful. America is working conspiracy to avoid being aligned with Great Britain. The only thing, I hate that. The only one that finds conspiracies dangerous are those that seek to have unjust enrichment.
Yes.
So I guess that's the issue of whether conspiracies are real. I guess because when you hear the word conspiracy, it's like, oh, it's something made up. But people conspire to do things all the time.
Right.
So,
Right. Don't forget to hit the like button. What's that when they go to the side?
So if you're in the watch parties, come on over this side and
Join
comment.
the conversation.
Join the conversation.
Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate, and I'm going to play the average guy. We got a doctor right here, Dr. Grace. Actually, no, but for a lot of people out there, they think when somebody has a title of a doctor, they think that they're a medical doctor. So
Right.
just give us a shot on your educational travel.
Yeah, it's I have a doctorate in public policy planning and development.
She's a politician.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I like to think change maker.
Right. Okay.
But that's my studies. My background is in community and economic development. I'm all about building up new businesses and creating jobs.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. She has a plan. She does have a plan. So
I actually have 2 questions for you. Marcus says, Dr. Grace, how can you say that when the focus has never been on us as a people or a need? And currently the focus is on everything that concerns protecting a white government from foreign attacks for the crimes that continue to commit. I'm reading it as it is. There is no real effort, nor has there ever been any real effort to unite as one America. Hate has proven that consistently.
okay, so are we in disagreement about that question, or is that a statement or a question?
Sounds more like a statement.
Yeah, it sounds more like a statement. So
I guess it's a statement. So I guess he's saying, how can she say what she said, which I don't really remember.
Well, here's my question. Let me just paraphrase this for you. You're running for office. Mm-hmm. You're in the 41st district, and these are people. On this show, a lot of people are just universal. So there's some in the Inland Empire, but
really, it could be all over the world.
Yeah, it could be all over the world actually. So you got black constituents. Now, I'm just going to throw this out there for you. Your first day of office, what are you going to do for the black people of your district?
Yeah, it's all about jobs, right? So I'm looking forward to having key staff members on my staff that are, of the black community. I think that's an important voice to have. And then also, I think that's number one, is establishing a staff, and then also meeting with organizations within our community that services, the needs within the Black communities. But specifically, like Black-owned businesses is also important to have relationships with, and that's what I'm building on. And then also nonprofits that are run by African Americans. And so, that's what I'm about. It's about building alliances and making sure that part of my team is integrated in the community.
So let me ask you this. You're saying you're not going to be issuing any checks?
Issuing any checks?
Yes.
You mean going after, are you talking about reparations?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. When you get to Congress, you know.
Said day one, what am I going to do?
You
establish my teams.
Yeah. So
right?
You got to establish your team.
But I got to push for reparations. But we got to do that now. Why are we waiting for me to get into office? We got to do that as part of the messaging, and running for office is pushing the envelope on that.
Posting that. Because, and the reason I bring that up is because we're here in California, and God bless them, the Hispanics are the majority out here, and, I have no problem with that. In this country, the majority rules, right? Mm-hmm. So you've got illegals that got $430-something million to help them on the border. You've got people that are illegal getting driver's licenses. You've got Dreamers Act. You've got everything that's being done for a group of people. The Indians here in California got the casinos and all kinds of stuff that goes with that, because they still have standing contracts with the federal government. But it seems like the Black person is always left out. And then when you bring up reparations, it's impossible. It can't be done. The money, we got to go, and so when I look at a politician now, that's one of the first things that I'm asking. If you ain't talking about reparations, you ain't getting, you're not getting we're at a point now where we're tired of getting nothing for our votes.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Okay. So, and Jonelle, you say, Dr. Grace, peace. He says, what is your inspiration for running for Congress?
I live in the city of Paris, and it's
Paris, California.
Paris, California. So I live in the city of Paris, California, which is just south of the military base. Yes. The city is the smallest city in the district, highest poverty rate, highest unemployment rate, lowest education attainment. And I grew up in poverty, and I understand the impacts of poverty on communities. So when you don't have opportunities within a community, that level of poverty stays. So the only way to bring people out of poverty is you have to introduce opportunities and money into that community, and opportunities for people to make money and invest locally in order for them to come out of poverty. So my inspiration is really to represent the people that haven't been represented in the last 6 years by the guy that's in office now, Mark Takano. And I met with his office some years ago to ask for a phone call to support a skills training center in my city because of all the stats I just gave you. We need jobs and higher skills. And the answer was they had all the votes they needed in the two biggest cities in the district and didn't need anything from my little city. So that inspired my run. Now, they did end up coming to the table after I went out of the district to look for support elsewhere. And we did get funding, federal funding, in 2018. It was the largest federal EDA grant awarded to any city in the U.S. The city of Paris got it. And a lot of that was because I lobbied for it with Congress and got the funding. But it was really that conversation where they said, we already have all the votes we need. We don't need anything from your city. That inspired my run because, he doesn't represent our communities. He's not for Black and brown people. And that you can look at his record and see that. And so that's why I'm running, to bring that voice to the table.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All righty. And Berdina, what's happening? He says, I am sitting, looking at the evening news, and I am looking at the Holocaust victims, remembering the Holocaust.
Of
the
course.
biggest tragedy is what happened to our people. We need to always remember and push for our reparations.
Absolutely.
100% agree with you on that.
But the key to doing that is getting the right people elected into office.
And so Kevin has a question for Dr. Grace, and he says, is there a working definition of a politician?
Is there
a working definition
of a politician? Mm-hmm. Well, there's one that doesn't work. There's a non-working definition of a politician.
Getting a check.
And that's a career politician.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing that I'm going to push for in Congress is term limits.
Thank you.
Right? Because there's no reason why a president can serve up to 8 years, and then you have Congress folks
that are there
that
for
can
40.
serve up to 30 years. Mm-hmm. So at the time that this country will have the courage to apply term limits in Congress, that's where we start seeing changes, especially in our communities. That will open up opportunities for people that look like us, that care about our issues, to get into office, because as it stands right now, the non-working definition of a politician is a politician that is in office forever and that serves the establishment and the purpose of the establishment. And I'm saying that as a Democrat running against a Democrat, and even the Democratic Party has made it very difficult for me to run my race because they want to maintain the people that they know will toe the line. Yes. And that's a non-working politician. It's a politician that isn't working for the people,
right?
But is working for other politicians, establishment, maintaining their power. At the point that we lose the people's voice at the table, we have politicians that aren't working for us. We got to vote them out. So term limits is big for me, and it's something we need to push for very strongly in this country.
Real quick, because I don't want the people to get confused. How can a person? And I know some people are like right now, they're probably thinking, how is she going to represent reparations and she doesn't even look like us? Just give us a little, background, because, you could pass for a lot of different cultures. Yeah. I mean, so, how would you describe your background?
Okay, so my ethnic background is Chinese, Caucasian, Samoan.
Okay. So.
Right, so Asian Pacific Islanders,
sure.
On the census, that's what I'll be checking off.
Right.
But my babies, my ex-husband is from Birmingham, Alabama.
Yikes.
My 15-year-old boy has a big old afro. My kiddos.
Well, they got some Polynesians that have afros.
No, my kids are black.
Yes,
so when you see my kids, they are African American.
Well,
and beautiful.
Well, I'm going to say this. Being raised in Asia myself, and the Polynesian, I know they can pop and lock and get down with the best of us. You know what I mean? So
how is it that I can speak to reparations? Yeah. It's easy. I don't have to be black to know what it's like to be discriminated against. I've been profiled. I've been pulled over by the popo. Police has pulled me over and I've had a canine in my car. Yeah. This is in LA, South LA, when I was attending the University of Southern California. Because I wore baggy pants and flannel shirts, I looked a certain way. I was profiled. Okay. So that's what I can speak to reparations, not just because of my babies, my kids, but because my experience, the black experience, is my experience in this country.
Oh wow! And also think, anybody really just looking at the facts and the horrors of slavery. Whether you're black, white,
right, whatever,
you can see what was done, to black people in America. So to me, I think it's a no-brainer. But there's some people who say, "Hey,
they're out there,
it didn't affect you. That was, 100 years ago.
How can we trust that you're going to go there and fight really hard for us, whatever?" Right. But one last question, real quick. Last Sunday, tragic accident just happened. What are your thoughts? If you want some votes, this will definitely get you some votes. The Kobe Bryant tragedy.
Gosh. Yeah, man, that was, there's something about Kobe Bryant's life. When that incident happened, if you remember, literally all eyes were off of the impeachment process.
Right.
And so you think about what the impeachment is doing to this country. It's just highlighting that political divide that career politicians are pushing in Washington, D.C. What Kobe Bryant's incident reminded the country of is that there are so much more that unites this country than there are things that divide us.
True.
And there are going to be people that want to emphasize the division to keep themselves into power. But what Kobe Bryant reminds us is that what's most important is family. What's most important is love. The things that unite us, like American sports,
right,
music,
community,
food, everything that makes us different and unique is really they're the things that unite us, right. And that's what we have to hold on to. And for that moment when that incident happened, I was so grateful that all eyes were off of the impeachment.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's what Kobe did for us. I mean, it's an unfortunate...
even for that little small moment that we all came together.
But we need to hang on to that. We need to celebrate his life, not just his life, but those that have passed on that stood for those things, for family, community, and unity. So we need to carry that message on because we need it.
Yeah, right. I mean, nowadays, absolutely.
And Marcus, you say, and when you speak of the possibility of a truly united America, let us not forget the first African-American president was viciously attacked by the people who actually work for him or our behalf. And even he was scared to publicly call a spade when it came to race in this country.
Yeah.
Okay. And Dwight, he says, I do not think you see all of my comments. Dr. Grace is going to win. Get out the new voters. I only see what's coming up. So maybe,
is that my brother or is that Dwight?
No, it's Dwight. Okay. I didn't see any of your comments. No, I haven't missed them. But no, and I think you make a good point that people really do need to get out and vote.
Yes,
especially the new, and I understand what you mean by new voters, because we know people who typically vote are going to go out there and vote. Probably not going to change what they vote for too much.
Right.
But, we need to get to the highways and the byways and nooks and the crannies where people who are going to be most affected by not voting, especially on a local level, state level, those are the people that need to be reached, because they don't know what's at stake for them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And then, Kevin, you say, what did I miss? I don't think you missed anything, did you? Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. I only see the comments that come up. And Marcus. You say, Dr. Grace, we know that there is a power behind a power. That one nip, you lights everything physically and financially. I don't know what that means. So how is it possible for us to rise to an equal standard of living if the goal is to keep us underfoot? The next Mitch McConnell is on the way when this bastard dies. He is already in training.
Well, let me speak to that real quick.
Maybe you understood. I didn't understand it.
How many of you guys remember the last majority leader? His name was Reed from Nevada. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, once they were in power, they made certain rules that limited the minority group. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, payback comes, and now we're doing this. We have really got to get away. And, well, number one, we got to understand how the game is played.
Right.
If you don't understand
Which
how
most people don't.
Right, and if you don't understand how the game is played, then you're kind of like, they're making us take sides. Everybody, it's like this cheating thing. When Tom Brady did it, it's no big deal. The Houston Astros do it, it's part of the culture now. Cheating is just like, it's no big deal.
American is apple pie.
Yeah, it's so it really doesn't matter at that point, because we've been talking about this all the time, Dee. There's one party, the ruling party, and until somebody comes in there that wants to change this game, which they won't let anybody do.
Yep, I know it.
Because a real democracy doesn't just have two parties. It has multiple parties.
Right.
And that's where we're at. But you got to understand the game before you really... it makes no point in complaining if you don't even know the rules of the game.
Right. And Kevin said, what do you think of the idea that all elected officials will be staffed by a random drawing of all eligible voters, a public draft, so to speak?
Oh, wow.
I never heard that.
Yeah,
that's an interesting concept.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very interesting. But the only thing is, you never know what you're going to get, right?
Exactly.
Who you gonna get. And then Jonelle says, Dr. Grace, how long have you been in politics, and who is backing, and how much empowerment do you have with you? So I guess basically wants to know who's backing.
Who's getting behind me?
Because we know it's not the Democratic Party. So.
Well, it's there are folks.
Some folks in it.
There are a few in the Democratic Party that are supporting, which I'm very grateful for. My big support is the voters, because that's all that matters.
Yeah, that vote.
So it really doesn't matter how much money. It's nice to have $1 million in the coffers to run. It's nice to get endorsements from big party leaders. I don't have any of that, but. As Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has shown, you don't need that to win.
Right.
You need the votes to win. So that's really the backing that I need. But currently, I have a lot of support from businesses, small businesses, manufacturers, because they're really supportive of my message of creating jobs and creating new skills for our high school graduates and also our veterans, our disabled and displaced workers.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And Dwight says, beautiful woman, person of color, all time. I think maybe, I don't know, all the time.
Hey, anyway, D already knows that. D already knows that, you guys.
He's talking to Dr. Grace.
Oh, okay. It's all right.
I'm happy to be sick today.
Yeah.
You didn't get the memo already, so it's horrible. And Bernina, he says, term limits are important not only in Washington, but the state, city levels as well. Democratic and I think he meant Republican machine makes it difficult for you people to enter the political ring. That has to change. We're talking about people like yourself who are not, necessarily a career politician, if you will. It is very hard. It's like people feel